Hi everyone, so today I want to work on Spellbinders' new September 2022 APG die of the month. It is the pop-up 3D vignette, basically Gumball machine. And Spellbinders did send this items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own. And any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. So, again, if you're already a club member, you want to make any changes before the 5th. If you're going to add something, you can do that up until the end of towards the end of the month, right? And if you're brand new, there is a blackout period towards the end of the month that you can't sign up. But if you sign up this month, this is the set you'll be getting, or the different items that you've been seeing. So I'll link my original unboxing video because that goes through everything and talks about everything. But today we're just going to go ahead and create something with the little gumball machine here. So I think I'm going to make a card. I know every once in a while I'll do a pop-up, I'll do a card, I'll do a pop-up, like, whatever it is. It's the same thing with the 3 vignettes. You just have this little side piece that for this one you're going to hook here, so you're going to cut out several of these guys. I have samples that look like this. I did get a set of instructions that I printed out. Of course, yours is going to be color and it'll be the carrier for your dies. And my printer did a little something funny here, but really simple. It's the same as you mostly do with all the 3D vignettes. The only one thing different is here. You have this little strip. It's basically this piece here that you are also going to pop in these little circle pieces and run it through. So I don't know if you can see there's like a little opening, and I believe that's where you're placing that, and it goes through the different layers just to give it that sturdiness and stuff. So a little bit different in that, but not difficult to figure out, and they have a whole little section here about that. So today I think what I'm going to do, like I said, is a card and just put it on top of a well, yes, make this into a topper for the card. So we have these pieces, obviously like our little lid. There's decorative pieces for that. There's these little pieces that can go and you can do your words. You have all these other extra bits that help it, make it look really nice. So what I'm going to do is grab some papers and then we'll talk about which pieces go where, at least for my project today, and I'll be right back. Okay, I kind of separated things out again. This is for the mechanism, which we're not using today. These are extra words that I'm not going to use today because I chose other ones here. So let's just get started. So I am going to use the main die here, and it has pieces like that help you do some embossing and things. I did grab some paper that's like red and already has texture, but I'll use these anyway. On one of them we don't need all of that though, because I'm not going to be it's going to be in the background. So I think what I'm going to do is 2 layers, and then we're going to add it to our card instead of just doing a top layer that sticks to our card, okay? Because that way the gumballs can look like they're inside instead of being on the outside plus however. So on this one we're going to have something like this, and I think I'm just going to cut this out of white paper. So this paper's pearlescent, that's okay, as long as it's not like a color. So this one's going to be in the background. All I want from this one is this. And it's stuck where it needs to be because of the magnetic mat that I have this on, but we do want to stick these down, and I'm going to run that through. Okay. Sorry, guys, since I stuck this down, I'm going to go ahead and run this one through, and then we'll discuss the other parts, okay? Because I do need that outer die back. So let me run this through, and I'll be right back. This is not like the biggest die in the world, so what's really nice is if you even have just a smaller machine, you could probably get it through there. It's about 5.5 inches tall, and at the width, I would say 3 1/4 at the widest point, so probably fit in a lot of machines, even smaller ones. Okay, so we have that guy, and then we're going to use this base to put our gumballs. So we have that. We're going to do some Frankenstein to that guy. We're just basically cutting away some portions and things like that. And then for our lid and for the body of this other one, I have this specialty paper. It's just some red paper I have in my stash that has like a little bit of texture. I was looking for something shiny and I thought this will work. So let's get that guy there. And then I'll pop in both these pieces so we have that texture, even though it might not show up just because my paper already has texture. But again, you gotta tape all these things down really well so that they don't move. And this one, we want to cut the little hole so that you can see through this one to the one that's in the background, right? So that also needs to be taped down really well. And any other red items that you would want to use, and I'm just going to take our little lid and also run that through. And while we're here we can talk about this. So the lid and the other accent pieces. So it has the little top part, and I'm just going to use some shiny silver paper, and then this part also goes to the lid. Sorry, it's very reflective. So those two pieces, I'm just going to put this off to the side, and then you can see I'm using some silver, metallic silver paper, okay? So those two pieces need to be silver, and basically all these pieces that have to do with the dispenser can be whatever metallic color, whatever it is that you want to do. Obviously, you want to use black paper, white paper, whatever it is that you want. All these pieces are going to cut separate. So this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and this guy, all from the silver paper. And I'll probably also do this guy from the silver paper, but I'm going to hold off on that for the wording. So we'll do that in a little bit. And then the accent pieces to our Gumball machine, which are these two, are also going to be cut out from the silver paper for my project, okay? I'll be right back. So I have all my smaller pieces here. I'm just going to leave them on there for a moment. And so we have some things to do with this. Since I'm just putting this on a card, we're not using the tabs, but generally you would have cut this and you would have stuck each layer into these guys. Just going to trim away these pieces that I don't need. And I'm also going to put a piece of acetate behind this window. There's lots of ways to mix and match this or do whatever your project, you know, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to cut a piece of acetate, but you know, just take a quick measurement and know about how big I need that to be. And I'll go from there. And this does have red lines on the top. If, you know, usually you're like, oh, that's the clear part and you want to do it in white paper or silver or something else, you can definitely cut a piece off and then add the piece that you do want on here if you don't want the red edges. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if it was this one, let's say I cut it the same but in white, I would just cut that off and then just take the piece off and glue it on here. And I'm going to do the same thing to this guy, okay? So I'm just take the little notches off and I'll measure just about how big we want a piece of acetate from edge to edge. It's like I think 2.5 will do it. And then this way, yeah, so like about 2.5 inch square. So I have this piece of acetate here, and I mean, I can just eyeball it from 2.5 inches, or you can take it to your paper trimmer, however it is that you like, and go from there, okay? So I'll be right back. I'm going to make sure this is a 2.5 inch-ish square. Okay, so that's about right. I have a little bit sticking out there. So I'm just going to round those edges and then just glue this down. Just to have that ready. So there it is. Put some glue all around this edge and glue this on. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so we have these couple pieces. I'm going to let that set up for a moment. So I'll put it to the side. And then we have all these other accent pieces that we can start adhering. So again, for this guy, let me get my little lid. So cute. Put a little glue. And take a little off, because that's just how I like to do that. Pop that on here. And same thing down here with this larger cuff. And that goes on here. I'm going to hold that down just for a little bit because this paper, both of them are kind of, they have like a coating on them, you know, so you want to make sure that stays down really nice. I'll be right back. And then this guy. Again, I just try to take off the excess glue. I'm doing this all ahead of time because we're just going to put it all together as a shaker, so I'm just putting it all down now. If you were just using like this one layer, you can stick it to your card and then build it up or however you like. Of course. Okay, I don't want to misplace this little guy. That's for something else. That's for that. This is for this. This is also for the dispenser. I had seen in some of the examples they had like a little coin looking thing, and basically they just took one of these little circles and made a coin. Yeah, it's just the same as one of the other circles there. Okay, and this piece here. I'm going to hold those down and I'll be right back. Okay, so for this one, whatever you like, I think I'm going to pop this up just to give a little dimension. So I think what I'm going to do is take this circle and go ahead and stick that down. And then go ahead, just that gives it obviously texture. And then we have this little piece that looks like that turn kind of knob that you hold on to. And then just pin that straight across here. I'm gonna let that set up a little bit. I'm gonna put some dimensional adhesive on the back of it, okay? Okay, so we have that with the carriers taken off. And this guy comes in here somewhere, you know, right there. And you can leave that if you want to make something that looks like a little coin. I'm not gonna glue down that very bottom piece because, of course, I want that to open up just a little bit. And that covers up also that little area, this little notch here that you have taken out for if you were making the 3D vignette. It covers that part up. Okay, I'll be right back. And if you want to open this up, since I just kind of didn't mess with it too much, you can kind of open it up a little bit like that. And then we have our little guy. Take off some of that excess glue. Super cute. Put that guy on there. Alright, so with this guy, I'll place this at the end so we'll see kind of where that needs to go. What I'm going to do is take this one. So as you can see, there's these guys, and there's also just like a separate little circle. This one's a little bit different, a little bit smaller from the other ones. Anyhow, I'm going to take this and just run it through tons of different colors. Probably very bright colors. So, yeah, I don't know if that's the brightest color, but yellow, orange, you know, blues, purples, and I'll be right back. Cutting out a ton, and honestly, you don't need every single color, like all 8 to be whatever color. So if you wanted to split paper like in between them, you can do that. And what I mean by that is like put half of it on blue and maybe the other half on green and run it through. You know, just tape it down so you know you're not missing anything and get your colors. But I'll be right back. And I'm just going to go for it, just putting... I'm going to put glue pretty good amount because this is going to be a shaker and everything's basically going to be right on that, so I don't want stuff getting stuck behind them. But for now, let's put that there. And I am going to cut one out of gold because it says 1 in a million, so just so that you have one that's different. And so just randomly placing my little circles. Okay, some might tuck over the others or however, but just going to put those all down. Oh, green. I was like, what is the other color I'm not using yet? Okay, and I'll come back with a gold one too. Okay, I have these all pretty much stuck down, and I'm just going to run one through in gold, and I'll be right back. I think I have some glue there, so it should be. Alright, and so let me grab a card base, and it's going to be something like this when we get it together. I'll be right back. So, you know, I'm going to make a 4x6 card, so kind of like mini slimline. It's basically an A4 size card, but that means it is 6 inches tall by 4 inches. So if you're making your own card base, you need 6 inches by 8, scored at 4 inches. And I happen to have this in my stash. It is a very old paper pack that I don't believe is available anymore from LDR's Creative, and I know it matches perfectly, and I'm sorry that, yeah, it's gone. So I'm just going to stick this down. And I cut this about 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And a lot of times this kind of paper is treated, it's shiny. It's possible that I should probably use like a double-sided tape instead of glue, but it looks like it's okay. Whenever you're doing that, just use a glue that has low content, like not too watery, is all I'm trying to say. Now, if I put this on here, you can see behind there and the little stuff that's back there, so, you know, I think that's okay. So what I'm going to do is just place this here, and this guy's going to go on top of that, of course, and then our little, you know, little hat there, so I think that's a good spot for him. And so again, I'm going to make sure this is really glued down, and I had used the scrap paper, sorry guys, that's why there's stuff all over the back of that. Now this is really needs to be glued down, all in here, all in these little bits. So I might even give it a little bit of a rub when I put it here, just kind of looking left and right, up and down. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to hold that down, and in the meantime I'm going to line this out with some 3D or dimensional foam. Now if you don't have any, you can also just cut this area out several times and then layer it up, you know what I'm saying, the same kind of frame, right? Cut this top part with that same die that cuts out a frame. Cut it several times and then add it in the back there. But I'm going to just carefully line it out with 3D foam. Okay, guys. So I have this all lined out. Oh, let me take the carriers off of this. I just put the same 3D foam down here so that way it's the same height. And I'm just going to use some Pure Sheen Opal Cream bits. Of course, you can use all the color you want. And again, not too much. That's just how I do it. I'll put this on here. I'm going to bring this closer to me, guys, so I can see what I'm doing. This one had a lot going around the little sides and everything. I don't want to mess that up. And that looks pretty good right there. Okay, I'm going to hold that down. And you guys know I love to give it a good squish. But the way I do that is I flip it over and squish it from the back. So I'm going to give it a really nice squishing. And there we have our little shaker with all the little gumballs. Super cute. We're almost done. We are going to put our little sentiment piece and then of course our lid. But I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this strip out of some white paper. This is that little band that has like that cute little kind of banner look to it. So we're going to cut that out, and then I'm also going to cut this part out. Now we're going to do this one first, so I'm just going to give myself some room here. I'm trying to decide where I should cut this from. Give yourself a little room. I'm going to run this through, and then we're going to take this die and trim out the words with it. So just something like that, and I'll be right back. So again, we're going to get our little lettering, but we also need this cut out. So I'm just going to, actually, let's make an aperture. I guess I could use this little piece, but I'm just going to do another one. Something like that. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Oh, I got a little too close to the edge, but that's okay. So what happens with this aperture is I can take this off. And I guess I could have just, like I said, done it to begin with. I didn't know if I needed an aperture, so what we're going to do is look through that and see exactly where this is going to cut that lettering, right? Like right there looks pretty good to me. So again, stick it down. We do not want this to move at all. See how we did. Let's see how we did on this one. Now you can do it the other way. You can cut the little banner and then put the wording in, but I feel like it's going to be more difficult. So with this one, again, it's kind of delicate now that we have that little wording in there. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so I'm just going to glue these guys together. Definitely with our little glue trick here. Take that off the front. Okay, I'm going to hold that together for just a minute. And I think I'm just going to stick that down, so I'm not going to put any dimension on that. I'll be right back. Okay, so let's finish this guy up. Really sweet. And if you're doing the 3D vignette, you're basically just decorating the front. You can decorate the back too if you like. I'm going to put that right here. And then just, you know, slot them in together. So I'm probably going to hold that down for a little bit after this. I do have some dimension on this. I don't know if that's... Yeah, okay, that'll be fine. I wasn't sure how much overlaps and how much sticks out over the thing. So it's the same dimension I used earlier. That way it's the same thickness or height. And basically we're going to pop this on here. I'll also hold that down. Oh my goodness. It's sticking out the top a little bit. That's cute. Okay, I'm going to hold that down. I'll be right back. Hey guys, there's our sweet little card. It's really sweet. Of course, you can play it up, you know, more APG style where it's like soft colors and just more elegant. I thought this was really cute, just obviously for like a juvenile card. That's really cute. One in a million. And yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for sending these items for review. I'll have images coming up. I'll have links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.